everybody, this is JJ Long from JJArtworks, and welcome to our YouTube channel where we help artists build profitable paint party businesses, and we also help out aspiring artists through our painting tutorial videos. So thank you so much for being here. We truly appreciate it. Let's just dive right into the painting, but I really quickly want to go over the supplies I'm using today. So right here I have a 5x7 inch mini canvas, and I have an assortment of colors over here. I have titanium white, yellow, red, magenta or rose, violet or purple, phthalo blue, and black. And I'm using an assortment of brushes today. I'll actually include links in the description below with some really good brushes that I recommend for beginner artists, as well as like a paint kit to get you started. But let's just dive right in. So today we're gonna do a sunset painting. And the first thing you wanna do is get your brush wet. I'm starting off with a flat brush right here. And we're going to take some white with a little bit of yellow. We're going to go for kind of like a lemon color here. A little bit more white. And we're just going to paint in a horizon line. You can use the side of the brush, or you can use the wide side of the brush. You just want to go left to right. Your horizon line doesn't have to be super straight, but you just want to make sure it's straight enough for you. So I'm just painting in some yellow right here. And now I'm going to go to the second color. We're going to make it a little bit of orange. So I'm going to take a little bit of red and mix that in with my light yellow. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow to kind of punch up the orange a little bit. And what I usually do, if you see my hand going this way, I get my water cup on this side. I like to keep the paint very, very wet. And again, you're just going to blend right down into this light yellow, go left to right, like that. And then I'm going to go a little bit darker with this orange. So add a little bit more red, a little bit more yellow. So we're going for like a reddish orange right here. And then we're going to paint the top of this like that. Okay. So that's our top. I'm just going to wash off my brush in the water cup. Dry my brush off with some napkins. Now I'm gonna do a light blue ocean. Might add a little bit of purple in there too. A little bit more white, a little bit more purple. And you can tweak out the color as you see fit. But now what we're going to do is we're going to paint right below what we just did. Okay. All right, then we're just going to fill this in. Grab the side here. Gonna mix up a little bit more of that color. Add some more water. You know what? I think I'm gonna put the water cup over here. That will probably help. That'll help my life out a little bit. Okay, so that's a little bit too blue. Lighten it up here. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right. All right. So this is just our base coat for the water. And what we're gonna do is we're going to let some of this, just do that a little bit more solid. We're gonna let some of the sky color ripple in the water, but let's let this dry for a little bit. Let's go back into the sky and actually do some clouds, which I think will be really cool. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna grab a smaller brush, and I want to make my clouds more purple. All right, so I'm gonna take a little bit of white with some purple, maybe add a little bit of that blue in there, and just paint in some clouds here. So as far as clouds go, clouds take on many different shapes and sizes. There's no right or wrong way to make a cloud. But what I've found over the years, you can make little sharp clouds. What I've found over the years is that as long as like you make the clouds have different bumps, right? So you don't want to make them look like Super Mario clouds the same way through, but if you just like scumble the brush and kind of change up the direction, the shape, right? It doesn't have to be a perfectly, it doesn't have to be a specific shape. You can have fun. See how this cloud is a little bit thinner than this cloud? This cloud's a little bit more, a little bit bigger. That's good. See how I have a sharp cloud here? You can add like little clouds in here too. Little clouds. We can add a cloud up here. Which is pretty cool. All right. All right. Okay, maybe a little cloud there. So have fun with it. Feel free to put clouds wherever your heart desires, you know. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to add some highlights to the clouds. And again, we're letting the bottom dry for a little bit. Okay. So when I add highlights, I just add a little bit of white to the base color of our cloud. Okay. And then I just lightly dab some highlight color on here. A little bit of water there. You know what? I can actually go a little bit brighter. So again, with painting, it's all trial and error. So you might test out a color and it doesn't exactly jive with the painting, or it's a little too dark, too bright. You won't really know until you actually put the color on the canvas. So this color looks like it's working pretty good. And again, I'm just kind of dabbing on some color here. I might even go back and add a lighter shade to it, but I think this is pretty cool. Add a little bit underneath, right here, right here, that looks fine. Maybe right here. And then you can actually use this color and just use the regular strength of this color somewhere else, right? So, I don't know. I like a lot of clouds. That's how I roll. So we'll let that dry right now, then we can go back to it. But I'm going to use, let me see. I'm going to use this brush. This is called a filbert brush. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mirror some of this orange and yellow into the water. So we actually already got, just want to get your brush wet. Whenever you use a new brush, you just want to really quickly get it wet. I want to put some of this orange in the water here. And you actually don't need a ton of paint on your brush, right? And I just really lightly want to put some of this color in the water. I can actually use a little bit more paint. Again, it's one of those things you don't know until you try, so there was a lot of trial and error when it comes to painting. But like our favorite painter Bob Ross always says, there's no mistakes in painting, only happy accidents. And Bob Ross is the man. So I probably could have let this dry a little bit longer, but wet on wet's all right. And what we can do is we can add some thicker paint. So right now I'm just sort of making it a little, just adding a little bit of orange in there. It's turning green a little bit, and it's turning a little bit muddy, but that's fine, because check out what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow. I'm using a smaller brush right now. It's like a mini filbert brush. And filbert just means that there's an oval shape to the bristles. So I'm gonna go in here and take some brighter yellow so we can make this pop a little bit more. All right. Use a little bit more paint. All right. Yeah, there we go. And you can go as far down as you want. Wherever your heart desires. Okay. So we'll let the ocean dry a little bit more. I'm probably painting on it a little too soon. But now we're going to add a little sun in the middle. And we're going to add some other colors to the sky. Okay. We're just going to use straight up white. I'm using a small round brush, if you can see that. All right, and when you twirl your brush like this, you get like a sharper point to your brush, so I highly recommend that you do that. And we're just going to add a little circle. To symbolize the sun. You can actually add a little bit more white to it to make it pop out a little bit more. And then we're actually going to take some of this white and add some white clouds to it, right? Which I think makes the sky pop a little bit more. That's pretty cool. All right. And then we're actually going to add some brighter yellow to this. So I'm just taking a little bit of white with a little bit of yellow. And we're going to make some really, really bright highlights in the water. All right, and these are kind of just like little mini horizontal lines. And this just sort of gives some more shimmer on the water, which I think looks pretty cool. Okay. And I think we could actually add a little bit more orange. That blue's dry now. Probably added the orange a little too soon, but I really think if we add some bright orange in there, it'll make it pop really good. So let's get some bright orange going. So I usually start off with a yellow and add a little bit of red. I should probably get orange paint, but I'm being lazy. All right, so yeah, nice. So you can add a little bit of orange. See how it sort of pops a little bit more? And you want to extend this all the way to the edge of the canvas. Okay, nice. Great. You know what? I am going to add a little bit more white to the clouds, just to make the tops of the clouds pop a little bit more. White, a little bit purple. Again, wherever your heart desires, there's no rules when it comes to painting. Okay, nice. All right. You know what? I do see a little discrepancy in the sky. I can add a little bit of water. Right. Don't be afraid to use your finger to blend. Ooh, you know what? I think I like a little bit more orange. Kind of like these darker, slightly darker orange shapes in the sky. That's pretty cool. Another one right here. So painting is all about just layering, my friends. And it's really meant to be relaxing, therapeutic. There's no rules. You just keep painting until you are happy with the finished masterpiece. That's basically how you do it. Nice. Way in the sky. All right, cool. I think that's done, guys. So thank you again so much for being here on our YouTube channel. We truly appreciate the love and support. If this is your first time here, please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you can be notified when we come out with weekly videos. And we're just going to keep cranking out painting tutorials for you guys so you can be inspired and hopefully create something similar to this when you're at home. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We truly appreciate love and support, and have a great one. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.